Okay, there we go. We are live. Let's just minimize that. Let the good people on Discord know. Shall we get this underway? I don't know how else to start these things, so... Other than awkward silence, followed by just getting on with it. Okay. Do we got anyone participating? Not yet. And so let me just check and see where we are in the story. The need, which wasn't the case for everyone in the caravan. Ah, there we are. Perfect. So everyone, welcome to... This is Changeling of the Guard Live, written by no one, and narrated by Equinox 3141. Today we are doing Chapter 4, Part 2, where we finally get to hear Roughshod's voice for the first time. Those of you who were watching last week's live stream will know exactly what Roughshod was going to sound like. I have to post the link. I always forget that every time, Cappy. No, not that one. No, I don't want to close either. I was going so well, too. And so, shall we get on with it? Wait for a few more minutes for people to start trickling in. Yeah, though they can hear the whole story when it's posted on Tuesday. That's right. For anyone joining us, yes, welcome, Fractal. I'm going to start doing, and hopefully this will work out the way I want it to, is that Saturdays I'm going to live stream, hopefully around the same time every night. And on Tuesdays is going to be when I edit these things, and so you'll get the next chapter on that Wednesday. Now this is just mainly to do releasing on Wednesday instead of Tuesday when it's actually done is mostly just in case something goes wrong, which I can pretty much guarantee something will go wrong. So hopefully if we can get this chapter done tonight, then by next Wednesday it will be out on YouTube for all to listen to. Okay. And here we go. Roughshod, for example, wanted enough bits to move far out into the Badlands, live comfortably. Are we ever going to have a live stream where I can just go right into the character off the bat? Roughshod, for example. There we go. Roughshod, for example, wanted enough bits to move far out into the Badlands, live comfortably by himself, and never see another pony again for the rest of his life. There we go. For all of that. Oh, wait, hold on. Did I switch the window? No, I haven't switched the window yet. You can't see anything. According to plan. Yes, exactly my plan. For all that, when I helped him out pull his... For all that... Okay. For all that, when I helped him pull his cart, he begrudgingly offered to share a brown bottle with me that very nearly made me wretch, and I was disinclined to accept further offers. For all that, when I It is in the 90s, and there is time for Changeling at the Guard. I don't know what you mean by that. Unless it means it's 90 degrees where you live. If that's the case, congrats. Because it's about 45 outside right now. For all that, when I helped him pull his small cart. That break in the sentence. That's just tripping me up tonight. I don't know what Klax is. Should I know what that is? Am I not a nerd if am I not in the internet if I don't know what Klax is? Probably. But oh well, I'm not giving over my internet license. For all that, when I helped him pull a small cart, he begrudgingly offered to share a brown bottle with me that very nearly made me wretch, and I was disinclined to accept further offers. The irritable pony seemed pleased. The irritable pony seemed pleased with my silence and work ethic. That's going to be another one of those things that every live stream should just be words that Equinox screws up on, no matter what they are. Oh, okay. I'll have to look up Klax after the live stream's done. Hopefully, the plan is to get this live stream, get the chapter finished. So that way we get 2 chapters a month, which was the plan from the beginning, but it never worked out because I just kept on forgetting to do this. is the big thing. I always was busy doing something else, mainly watching YouTube, but I was entertained. The irritable pony seemed pleased with my silence and worth ethic. Why? Why is this happening again? No, I don't want this to happen. Oh, crap. Very nearly forgot to silence my phone. That would have been bad. Probably it would have gone off when I had a perfect take. And I would have to redo that thing all over again. Like it always does. Okay, there we go. The irritable pony seemed pleased with my silence and worth ethic, eventually accepting my lack of a cute mark as only a bucking shame, and I was less worthless than his own bucking sons, even if I was a bucking Pegasus. One more go. The irritable pony. The irritable pony. The irritable pony seemed pleased with my silence and worth ethic, eventually accepting my lack of a cutie mark as only a bucking shame, and I was less worthless than his own bucking sons, even as I was a bucking Pegasus. Even as I was... Even if I was a bucking Pegasus. Even if I was a bucking Pegasus. Having never kicked him once, I began to wonder if he misunderstood the term. The old teamster. Teamster? That's a thing? I'm curious on what that is. I'll have to look this up after the stream because I'm really curious. What is a teamster? Or is it supposed to be something else? Or is teamster right? I don't know. Hold on. I need to look up teamster real quick just to make sure. Teamster. There we go. There we go. Definition. A driver of a team of animals. Very appropriate. The old teamster was quick to pick up on my discomfort when some of the other caravan members would try to help my lost memory, and took to telling the bucking vultures to leave me the buck alone and let the bucking colt think in peace. I forgot how fun the caravan was. It's so much fun. The old teamster was quick to pick up on my discomfort when some of the other caravan members would try to help my lost memory, and took to telling the bucking vultures to leave me the buck alone and let the bucking colt think in peace. I believe this was meant to be supportive. All the same, siphoning off of some of his... All the same, siphoning off some of his ready supply of anger seemed to bring the old stallion a measure of his own peace, and I'd like to think he was happier for it. Things would have continued in this way well into a... Things would have continued in this way until well into Equestria, if not for my growing realization that I could not possibly travel to Canterlot like this. My disguise would hold up to scrutiny, thankfully, but I personally would not. Need more space. My disguise would hold up to scrutiny. My disguise would hold up to scrutiny, Okay, there's 2 commas. Okay. My disguise would hold up to scrutiny, thankfully. However, I would not. Nope. To Canterlot like this. My disguise would hold up to scrutiny, thankfully, but I personally would not. Boom. There are 2 main ways. Need more space. There are 2 main ways for a changeling to disguise themselves. The first and most common way is to form a sort of shell around themselves and to use only enough shape-shifting to fit within. And to use only enough shape-shifting to fit within. The first. The first and most common way is to form a sort of shell around themselves and to use only... There's no 2. The first and most common way is to form a sort of shell around themselves and use only enough shape-shifting to fit within. This shape can be damaged or shattered without gravely hurting the changeling within. This shape can be damaged or shattered without gravely hurting the changeling within, but was also more fragile and required to be either renewed or repaired routinely. But it was also more fragile and required to be renewed either but it was also more fragile and required to be either renewed or repaired routinely. The other method was to shapeshift oneself fully into the other form. But it was The other method was to shapeshift oneself fully into the other form. I still got the cover up. Oop. There you go. This is how much I need a second monitor, is to just tell what's happening with the stream. Because there were so many times I accidentally muted myself. And so I just got rid of the mute key because I'm like, I can't trust myself to not press that. The other method was to shapeshift oneself fully into the other form. The other method was to shapeshift oneself fully into oneself. Shapeshift one's self. The other method was to shapeshift oneself fully into the other form. This was costly and time-consuming, but provided more advantages such as a sturdiness and a direct connection to the outside world. This was costly and time-consuming, but provided more advantages such as a sturdiness and a direct connection to the outside world. Touching a shell is more akin to touching clothing. You may feel it indirectly, but damage to it does not always alert you immediately. Touching a shell is more akin to touching clothing. You may feel it indirectly, but damage to it does not always alert you immediately. It also may not feel exactly like a pony's hide. It also may not feel exactly like a pony's hide. Like a pony's hide. Did I bump the mic with that? Boom. There it is. It also may not feel exactly like a pony's hide. A full shapeshift, on the other hand, borders on undetectable, going as far as to bring a changeling's body temperature up to match that of a pony, though this costs a small amount of energy to upkeep as well as a mental effort, as opposed to the shell, which only requires the cost of a repair or replacement as needed. Am I just getting quieter? As the stream goes on, I just get quieter and quieter until I just turn into Fluttershy. It also may not feel exactly like a pony's hide. A full shapeshift, on the other hand, borders on undetectable, going as far as to bring a changeling's body... I messed up undetectable. Way at the beginning. And shouldn't it be on the other hoof? Should we just replace all the puns? Should we just put up in all the puns now? A full shapeshift, on the other hoof, borders on undetectable, going as far as to bring a changeling's body temperature up to match that of a pony, though this costs a small amount of energy to upkeep as well as a mental effort, as opposed to the shell, which only requires the cost of repair or replacement as needed. A full shapeshift, on the other hoof, borders on undetectable, going as far as to bring a changeling's body temperature up to match that of a pony, though this costs a small amount of energy to upkeep as well as a mental effort, as opposed to the shell, which only requires the cost of repair or replacement as needed. Oh, that's a long sentence. Unfortunately, injuries to a shapeshifted changelings are real injuries that bypass our natural exoskeleton, forking us. Unfortunately, injuries to a shapeshifted changeling are real injuries that best by our natural exoskeleton. Oh man. Take this up. Let's see. Who do we have in the chat right now? Oh, I'm alone. Okay. Unfortunately, injuries to a shapeshifted changeling are real injuries that bypass our natural exoskeleton, forcing us to take steps to repair them, either with magic directly, which costs us, or... Hey, Azriel, welcome to the live stream. It is very empty right now, so I'm glad that I didn't accidentally, turn it off or something. Hello, small goat. Unfortunately, injuries to a shapeshifted changeling are real injuries that bypass our natural exoskeleton, forcing us. Oh man, that's going to be a tough nut to crack, or what? Unfortunately, injuries to a shapeshifted changeling are real injuries that bypass our natural exoskeleton, forcing us to take steps to repair them, either with magic directly, which is costly, or by sealing the wound over with green mucus in the same way we would seal a daver. Yes, he is a small goat. He is a goat so small and innocent that people often mistake him for a child. Unfortunately, injuries to a shapeshifted changeling are real injuries that bypass our natural exoskeleton, forcing us to take steps to repair them, either with magic directly, which is costly, or by sealing the wound over with green Hey, Habit's here! Woo! Welcome to the live stream. Now the chat will be lively. Which is costly. Or by sealing the wound over with green mucus. With the green mucus. Glad you can make it, Habit. I'm glad to be... Yes, exactly that. Now we can finally get the show on the road, am I right? Or, by show on the road, I mean directly off a cliff and into, I don't know, some sort of gorge or something. Completely off track. Or by sealing the wound over with the green mucus in the same way we would seal a sandwich. We would seal a sandwich. That begs the question. Is there different kinds of changeling mucus? Is there like a blue changeling mucus or something? Yeah, it is beautiful. They has to mention specifically the green mucus. Unfortunately, it'd probably be a delicacy. And didn't he eat a green slime sandwich? Oh no, that was just a hydro chop. But same difference, am I right? Or by sealing the wound over with the green mucus in the same way we would seal a damaged cavern wall. Or by sealing the wound over with the green mucus in the same way we would seal a damaged cavern wall. I stuttered. No. Or by sealing the wound over... Or by sealing the wound over with the green mucus in the same way we would seal a damaged cavern wall. Though this obviously defeats the purpose of a disguise, it is preferable to bleeding out. Though this defeats the obvious... I don't know, a changeling, a pony just walking around with hardened green slime on their back. I mean, who's to know? We have a pony that is infatuated with jelly. Who's to say that there's not just ponies walking around with green mucus on them all the time? Am I right? Though this obviously defeats the purpose of a disguise, it's preferable to... It's preferable. Or is it preferable? Preferable? Either or? Tomato, tomato? Though this obviously defeats the purpose of a disguise, it's preferable to bleeding out. Okay, so change of plans. After we're finished with this chapter, we're just going to go right on to the next one. Because I thought this chapter was a lot longer. Or usually we're just talking a lot more. Very true. Very true. I just watched the season 8 finale today. And, man, that's so good. The season 8 finale is the best. For once, we finally see the imprisonment of a villain. Like, the guard actually doing something. Which I was just like shocked that the guard was actually doing something. Yeah, you slept through it. That's too bad, but hey, like, there's plenty of ways to watch it, including just downloading it from the internet. From somewhere I definitely won't say where, but you can definitely download it somewhere. I definitely won't say at all. Yes, children are the most evil villain. And it's kind of funny because I didn't get any spoilers, surprisingly, from the season finale. But as soon as I saw that someone being that nice, I'm like, is she evil? Who else immediately, as soon as you saw what she was doing, she's like, is she evil? Is she totally evil? Very true. But is it cruel if it's just ignorance? Because some children are just ignorant of things. Either or. I don't really want to debate it, so let's move on ahead. Being nice is good, but she was suspiciously nice. If any of you have seen Welcome to Night Vale, you know that there are people that are suspiciously nice. Do I have any fans of Welcome to Night Vale in the chat? I'm not a cinnamon roll. That's Azrael's job, is to be the cinnamon roll. And hello, Super. Welcome. Welcome. Man, how many people we got in here now? Probably a few. Apparently, it's still just me. What's wrong with that? Yeah, Solus is definitely a cinnamon roll. Ah, man. Why can't I see who's in the chat with me? Like, I just see just my name, and that's it. There's no one else in the chat. I don't know why that's happening, but oh well. Ooh. I know it's a bit late to do a Halloween live stream. I was working, but But it is only, what, like the third? Something like that? Yeah, it's the third. So, since this is as close to a Halloween livestream as we're going to get, how about something truly spooky? Once we're finished with the chapter, I will pull it up after we're finished with this, just so you can see what it is. Super. Oh my gosh, you scared me. Whew. Don't scare me like that, Super. Going to give me a heart attack before the book's even done. Over the course of a scant few weeks, I fully charged my own. Over the course of a nope. Over the course of a scant few weeks, I had fully charged my own capacity for the basic positive emotions, save love. Spooky, scary skeletons send shivers down your spine. That's the only part of the lyrics that anyone knows. Spooky, scary skeleton. So, are skeletons spooky, but they're just bones? Yeah, they're kind of scary, but they're just bones. What's spooky about that? I could just imagine Idol questioning that song. Anyone else imagine questioning why skeletons are scary? But that doesn't make sense when they're spooky outside the body. What's the difference? I mean, isn't just them being on the outside of the body similar to what an exoskeleton is? I wear my skeleton on the outside. Idol, don't make me sound like a creeper. Ah, man. I don't know where Spooky is. He never comes. Try and see if you can get Spooky into the chat, because he's missed all my live streams. I don't know if he even has the link, but go ahead, grab the link, and show Spooks, and hopefully he'll come. Getting out. Over the course of a scant few weeks, I had fully charged my own capacity for the basic positive emotions, save love. Over the course of a scant few weeks, I had fully charged my own capacity for the basic positive emotions, save love. Nonetheless, I could survive on that for a few weeks, though they would not last nearly so long as love, which I had almost completely expelled. More immediately concerning, I had never held a shapeshifted form this long, and was beginning to exhaust me. I needed to return back to... Bleh. So, Idol, are you saying that that's the power of love? Why, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. 'Cause it's the power of love. Although, if they survive on love, doesn't it make defeating them with a giant love force field at the end of Canterlot Wedding seem counterintuitive? Aren't they basically just attacking the changelings with a sandwich? Here's your hearty meal, now go away! And never return! I needed to return to normal, and obviously I could not do that in camp. Pop. I mean, true, But love is different than water. I mean, I guess that's true. That's very true. But still, I said beating him off with a sandwich, not beating him off with a tidal wave, because it's truly a sandwich. So, I don't know, love overload, or that the power of love cannot be defeated. Nah. Maybe they could just choose not to absorb love, pass right through the shield, because it passed through everything else, but it only affected the changeling and the changeling slime. So what is completely different about changelings and ponies that was able to make the shield be so selective? I wasn't even planning on questioning this much, but now I'm curious. Like, why? How did it selectively choose which were changelings, which were not, and how did it not squish any inside the castle walls? Or are they going to be squished inside the castle walls, and Idol's going to be seeing some crushed carapaces in the future? I mean, they overate, I guess? But weren't they pretty hungry to begin with, since they covered themselves in fire and meteored their way down to the surface? Oh, that could be true. But wouldn't a shield made out of love, wouldn't that have the same effect? I needed to return to normal, and obviously I could not do that in camp. Oh yeah, bunch of changeling-shaped holes. Oh man. Oh man, just imagine Cadence questioning why Idol could fit perfectly into these holes. I guess. Oh, but with that theory, it would explain why Idol would not have to be kicked out of Canterlot like the rest of the changelings. Listening to this, V Drake? Master V, you listening to this? Filling in for your plot hole. Filling in for the plot hole that the show created. So you... Why does it seem like all these holes are idol shaped? Coincidence. Because seriously, they would all be idol shaped. You'd have to make holes for the holes. Honestly, I could not do that in camp. That night, I snuck out of camp. I'm slowly turning British. No, Master V, I can't see who's in chat. For whatever reason, looking at participants, I have nothing. So, oh well. Master V was just here. Maybe he's just away for the moment. That night, I snuck out of camp, wandering far out of eyeshot, and let down my defenses, dropping the form and letting out a soft sigh as naught seemed to come untangled. Okay, thank you. Much appreciated. That night, no. We've nearly finished the chapter already. This is the most productive live stream we've had yet. That night I snuck out of camp, wandering far out of eyeshot, and let down my defenses, dropping the form and letting out a soft sigh as knots seemed to come untangled. Hello, Aster. Welcome back. That night. What is with these random popping noises? Who's cooking popcorn? Super, are you making popcorn? Are you messing up my recording making popcorn? That night, I snuck out of camp, wandering far out of eyeshot, and let down my defenses, dropping the form and letting out a soft sigh as knots seemed to come untangled. No, you're failing in your job, you had one job to distract me as much as possible. I examined my chitin for any damage, checking my joints and stretching. My body, especially my horn, ached from the prolonged usage, and I was pleased to have a chance to be myself. I would call this the unproductive podcast, but we're being too productive for that to be used. I would put on a shell, sleep out here under the stars, and go back in the morning after taking on the full form of Sandy. Oh yeah, don't. Oh my gosh, if Spooky joined with his fan, that's all over. It's game over. The fan. It's haunting Spooky right now. Spooky is being haunted by a fan. I would put on a shell, sleep out here under the stars, and go back in the morning after taking on a full form of Sandy. So I drew forth the energy, pictured the form in my mind, and went to form the shell. And nothing happened. Of course. And nothing happened. Of course. Buck. How? Oh my gosh. Yes, it is his very first foray to profanity. Although I think he's just is he saying it with profanity, or is he just literally kicking the desert right now, like blaming the desert for not letting him change back? Oh, there's no promises from Master V. Ooh. Okay. Okay, I think I might have a better way to end this. And nothing happened, of course. Buck. Okay, there we go. That's much better. 7. Woo! Can we break our old record of 8? Find out sometime tonight on COTG Live. Is there a way to say that other than just spelling out the letters? Anyone figured out a good way to pronounce that acronym? And nothing happened, of course. Buck. And nothing happened. Of course. I hit the mic! No! I hit the mic! Thank you, Super. And did I hit the mic again? I hit the mic again. Okay. Why is the mic keep on getting hit? No, I hit the mic again. No, this stupid cord. Hey, Edgy boy. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 8. One more and we can break the record. Come on. Can we get a lucky number 9? Or even 12? I don't know why I want 12. It just seems reasonable. The power of your persuasion is working, Super. And nothing happened. Of course. Buck! How's that for a take? And nothing happened. Of course. Buck! Actually just sounds like I'm swearing at that point. This chapter is rated 18 for inappropriate content. And nothing happened. Of course. Buck. And nothing happened. Of course. Buck. I'm so manly. Hitting the mic. Is this screwing with anything? Does anyone hear what hitting my mic does? Oh man. And nothing happened. I don't know how that sounds. Rip headphone users. Rip headphone users. All the way. And nothing happened. Of course. Buck. And nothing happened. Of course. Buck. Went to form the shell. And nothing happened. No. No. This is PG-13 chat. Buck. Buck. As you can see, I'm not swearing in that. But I'm going to close out this one because we are done with chapter 4. Now, next time I'm going to be starting on chapter 5, Bad Faith. But I think there's something that's been in the works for a long time that you should all hear. So, hold on while I get that. Anyone want to guess what I'm going to be reading? Anyone's free to guess. Anyone. Hold on, I have to get in my text editor. Boom. That's going to be so hard to read. It's so small. I can make it bigger. Okay, thank goodness. Well, every single one of you guessed correctly. Probably because I've been promising it since the first live stream. So, not the trains. Absolutely. Yes. I could just imagine that he's just chanting that to himself. Not the trains. I know, everyone's excited. Yay, we have Idle versus the Dread Train. That will be coming out later tonight. A little bit late for Halloween, but all's well that ends well. Okay, there we go. With that out of the way, we can get started. But first, one of my other favorite quotes from the server. I have become a religious icon among my people. Idle, if you do what I'm going to throw you in prison. Oh, what's the quote? I messed it up. No. I have become a religious icon amongst my people. Idol, I swear I'll throw you in a cell. I am Holy Bug. There we go. Sound clip that. How's that for a sound clip? Now let's see if I remember everything for... Let's see if I can remember the voices I had for all these people. So obviously you have... This is Idol. This is Shining. And let's see, is there anyone other than Shining? Oh yeah, Bold. Yep, this is going to be Bold. Not Big Mac. Big Mac's up here. Big Mac's up here. Bold is down here. The train rolls up into the station. Who wrote this so I can credit? Fractal Man! Fractal Man! Dun 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 dun. Fractal Man! Idle hooves and the dread train. Yeah, that's not idle. Jane. Idle hooves and the dread train. Yes. Changeling of the Guard. Idle hooves and the dread train. Written by Fractal Man. Narrated by Equinox 3141. Always have to add that. As my signature. The train rolls up into the station. The train rolls up to the station. Tripping over Shining's voice. It's different. Beam, beam, boo doo doo doom, doom, boo doo doo doom. Fractal Man! The train rolls up to the station, began Shining, the DM. I thought, is it DM or GM? Because there's like, or is it just preference? Like, I've heard people say GM all the time nowadays, but I thought it originally was DM. The train rolls up to the station, began Shining, the DM. Oh, Topaz. Oh no. Oh no. Topaz. Hello, my name is Topaz. How can I help you? This train, what color is it? Asked Topaz. Topaz? This one's pink with red hearts on it, replied Shining. How far away is it? Voice crack! The voice crack returns! I was curious if there was a reason, or is it just preference? How far away is it? Asked Idle. This is going to be just a bunch of breaks. Yes, Logan! Welcome to the stream. You're here at the best part. About 50 feet. How big is it? And welcome, Alexander Crestfallen. I know. We're probably still at 8. I cannot... I don't know. I can't even begin to guess who you are in the Discords. 9 people are here. I want to see if I can watch the stream from something else, just so I can see who's in chat. If I had to guess, Are you Spartaninator? Or damaged? Ooh. L spaceship? Are you L spaceship? Damaged? Are you damaged? Yes, you are, Aster. Yes, you are. How big is it? Yes, L spaceship. We have found who Logan is. The engine's about 30 feet long. The train as a whole is about 250 feet long. I use my sword to detect good on it. It's not good, Idol. It's a train. I call out to it. It won't answer. It's a train. I cut myself off. Great success. Out to it. It won't answer. It's a train. Nope, that's a little too deep for Idol. It won't answer, bruh. It's a train. It won't answer. It's a train. I sheath my sword and draw my bow and arrow. Does it respond in any way? No, Idol. It's a train. That's a little too monotone. Ah, multiple voices. Multiple voices. Anyway. No, Idol. It's a train. That seems like yelling. No, Idol. It's a train. I shoot it with my bow and roll dice to hit. I shoot it with my bow and roll to hit. What happened? There is now an arrow sticking out of the train. Yes, it is. No, Idol. It's a train stream. Idle Hooves versus the Idle Hooves and the Dread Train. Written by Fractal Man. There is now a train with an arrow sticking out of it. Other potential passengers are giving you very odd looks, said Shining, whose amusement was swiftly becoming replaced with irritation. Other potential whose amusement looks, said Shining. Said Shining, whose amusement was swiftly becoming replaced with irritation. Wasn't it wounded? Of course not, Idol. It's a train, yelled Bold, frustrated with his yelled Bold, frustrated with his yelled Bold, frustrated with his fellow players' antics. How to make a good gulping sound. Oh, here I have water. But that was a +3 arrow. But that was a +3 arrow. That was really quiet. That did not work as well as I thought. Okay, so I didn't think I would have trouble with gulping sound. Or just say gulp. The most expressive idol ever. Yes, this is the most expressive idol we'll probably get for the near future. There we go. That was a +3 arrow. Nope, he sounds like Shining. But that was a +3 arrow. said Idle as he wrung his hoofs together. It's a train, Idle. A train. If you really want to destroy it, you could get some explosives. I don't know why any pony would even try. It's a bucking train. Idle gave a long pause. I run away. But that was a +3 arrow, said Idle as he wrung his hoofs. A long pause. I run away. Shining slammed his hooves on the table. It's too late. You have awakened the train and it eats you. A long pause. I run away. Shining slammed his hooves on the table. It's too late. You have awakened the train and it eats you. I stumbled. No. Who would have thought reading this would take the longest? Shining slammed his hooves on the table. It's too late. You've awakened the train and it eats you. Ha! I knew it, declared Idle, his hooves shaking in the air. Oh, nice job, DM. He'll be impossible now, complained Topaz. Move over, Cthulhu. Here comes the train. Shining slammed his hooves on the table. It's too late. You've awakened the train and it eats you. Ha! I knew it, declared Idle, his hooves shaking in the air. Oh, nice job, DM. He'll be impossible now, complained Topaz. Yes, that's very brilliant. Thank you, Fractal Man, for making that gem. Now I have a challenge to everyone. If anyone wants to take it up. If you want, you can make cover art for Idle versus the Dread Train. Cover art for Idle versus the Dread Train. And because this is going up on YouTube, I will post this on YouTube. I just need a cover art for it. So that is everyone's challenge. I'll probably post this in the server too. I know. If only we could art. Probably not. I'll probably just make a folder called Fun. Fun, fun, fun. And there we go. Idle versus the Dread Train is recorded. All that needs is a lot of editing. Which, yeah, I was planning on this going on for another hour. So, I guess it's an editing stream now because I can't think of anything else. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. The pink one's multiplying. No, you would most likely say the pink one's multiplying. This is great cause for the world. Great cause of concern for the world. I'm going to be editing because this is small and it probably won't take that long. And you can see my process. How I process each and every chapter. No. Cancel. Don't need that yet. Idle Hooves in the Dread Train. Written by Fractal Man. I knew this day would come. I knew this day would come. Nymph, I have gone mad. You know what to do. Written by Fractal Man. Narrated by Equinox 3141. The train rolls up to the station, began shining the DM. This Man, I might need to reduce the noise again. It's still fairly loud. Yeah, it's still fairly loud. And go. Okay, there we go. May not look silent, but it is. Why don't Yeller special on the house? Where do you learn these things? Yeah, I could imagine for the cover art, maybe Idol with a sword, facing off against train. Like, I have the perfect art to show what I mean with Idol with a sword. Not perfect, but I mean, it looks awesome. Where do you learn these things? Absolutely. So, this is, for some reason, I thought this was Idol while I was browsing FimFiction. It just seems like him, doesn't it? Oh man. An evil Thomas the Tank Engine versus Idol. Too late. You said in chat it's going to be a thing now. Idle Hooves in the Dread Train. Written by Fractal Man. Narrated. Narrated by Equinox 3141. StarCraft's tanks. I haven't played StarCraft in forever. The train rolls up to the station, began shining the DM. This train. Yes, this is how most of my editing processes go. It's really long and tedious stuff. This train, what color is it? Asked Topaz. Oh, you don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, man. I realize I have to voice Honeybee as well. So, I've been thinking of... I think I know what accent to give Honeybee. Now, let's see here now, Mr. Hooves. Let's see if I can pull off a convincing southern accent for Honeybee. 'Cause doesn't it just seem within her character? Honeybee is southern. Well, yeah. Well, Mr. Roughshod is Russian from old Soviet Equestria, where trees back you. DM. This train. What color is it? Asked Topaz. This one. Topaz? This one's pink with red hearts on it, replied Shining. What was I saying? Uh, was I saying her name wrong? Honey, my name's Honeydew, darling. Parts on it. How's that for a southern accent? A really poorly done one, but we make do what we've got. Oh yeah, honeybee. Oh, that's from a different fic altogether. If you want to read it, it's known as Shattered Skies. A very, very good book. If you, it is on FimFiction right now. I'll post the story after the stream. How far away is it? Asked Idle. About 50 feet. How big is it? How big is it? Oh, for anyone that just wants to have this, here's a clip of Idle. Oh no, don't do that. For any of you that wants that, or Moth Chaser probably wants it. Let's see, where is that clip? How big is it? Moth Chaser probably just wants this looped, right? How big is it? 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 And I haven't even started Respite yet. I have like no time during the week, or else I would be doing more of these live streams because they're just so much fun. It lets me get through the chapter a lot quicker. How big is it? The engine's about 50 feet, man. As big as you want, Moth Chaser. How big is it? The engine's about 30 feet long. The train as a whole is about 250 feet long. I use... So would Shining be a knight in Dungeons and Dragons? Or would he be a monk, since he just uses his hooves all the time? Didn't she already try to jump Idle? Long. I use my sword to detect good on it. It's not good, Idle. It's a train. I call out to it. It's not good, Idle. It's a train. I call out to it. It won't answer. It's a train. No, I mean, not Shining. Idle. Would Idle be a paladin? Knight or a monk? Because I mean, I could imagine all those three things for Idle. It won't answer. It's a train. I sheath my sword and draw my bow and arrow. Does it respond in any way? Respond in any way. No, Idle. It's a train. No, Idle. It's a train. I shoot it with my bow and roll to hit. What? No, Idle. It's a train. I shoot it with my bow and roll to hit. What happened? I am level 3 Towns Pony. That would be Idle's thing. And there is now a train with an arrow sticking out of it. Other potential passengers are giving you very odd looks. Although Idle does strike me as I've been at a couple of parties before, and it always seems to end up like this, where someone just goes off the rails and everyone just kind of follows along with it, said Shining, whose amusement was swiftly becoming replaced with irritation. Wasn't it wounded? Wasn't it wounded? Of course not, Idle! It's a train! Yelled Bold. Wasn't it wounded? Of course not, Idle! It's a train! Yelled Bold, frustrated with his fellow players' antics. But that... The Bardic Knock. I've never heard of the Bardic Knock before. Oh, man. But that was a +3 arrow. But that was a +3 arrow, said Idle, as he wrung his hoofs together. Oh, yeah! Okay. When you said Bardic Knock, I thought you meant, like, the bard. A bard's knock, which is just knock on the door and you seduce the first person that walks out, which would fit Idle really well. His hoofs together. It's a +3 arrow, said Idle, as he wrung his hoofs together. It's a train, Idle. A train! If you really want to destroy it, you could get some explosives. I don't know why any pony would even try. It's a bucking train! Idle gave a long pause. I run away! Shining slammed his hooves on... Gave a long pause. I run away! Shining slammed his hooves on the table. His hooves on the table. Shining slammed his hooves on the table. It's too late. You've awakened the train and it eats you. Eats you. Ha! You've awakened the train and it eats you. Ha! I knew it! Declared Idle, his hooves shaking in the air. I knew it! I knew it all along! Declared Idle, his hooves shaking in the air. Oh, nice job, DM. He'll be impossible now, complained Topaz. Like I said, this was a quick edit, so I'm done. This is all the editing that was needed. Now let's listen to it from the beginning just to make sure everything is as it needs to be. Idle Hooves in the Dread Train. Written by Fractal Man. Narrated by Equinox 3141. The train rolls up to the station, began Shining the DM. This train, what color is it? Asked Topaz. This one's pink with red hearts on it, replied Shining. How far away is it? Asked Idle. About 50 feet. How big is it? The engine's about 30 feet long. The train as a whole is about 250 feet long. I use my sword to detect good on it. It's not good, Idle. It's a train. I call out to it. It won't answer. It's a train. I sheath my sword and draw my bow and arrow. Does it respond in any way? No, Idle. It's a train. I shoot it with my bow and roll to hit. What happened? There is now a train with an arrow sticking out of it. Other potential passengers are giving you very odd looks, said Shining, whose amusement was swiftly becoming replaced with irritation. Wasn't it wounded? Of course not, Idle. It's a train, yelled Bold, frustrated with his fellow players' antics. But that was a +3 arrow, said Idle, as he wrung his hoofs together. It's a train, Idle. A train. If you really want to destroy it, you could get some explosives. I don't know why any pony would even try. It's a bucking train. Idle gave a long pause. I run away. Shining slammed his hoofs on the table. It's too late. You've awakened the train and it eats you. Ha! I knew it, declared Idle, his hooves shaking in the air. Oh, nice job, DM. He'll be impossible now, complained Topaz. Thank you to Fractal Man for making that beautiful story. And now, it is here for everyone to listen to. So just save that and a few more tweaks. And let's see. Let me see if I can remember the order that all these were in. So, compressor, yep. And then we... equalize. And then last, normalize. Oh, that certainly shifted everything. Let's see how it sounds now. Idle Hooves in the Dread Train. Written by Fractal Man. Narrated by Equinox 3141. The train rolls up to the station, began Shining the DM. This train, what color is it? Asked Topaz. This one's pink with red hearts on it, replied Shining. How far away is it? Asked Idle. About 50 feet. How big is it? The engine's about 30 feet long. Okay, that sounds very, very good. That's usually how much I edited it. Okay, so with this all set, I will now export it as a WAV file, and it will go into the Fun folder. Save it there, and track title is Idle and the Idle and the Dread Train. And the album of this will be called The Adventures of Idle. There we go. And done. Now that saved, I close. Yes, save. And which is my next? This one? Yeah. This one. Bring in an audio file. Open. And I'll just move everything over. And I always forget how to do this. Fun. There we go. And it's encoded. Now that's pretty much all I can do with this file until I actually get something to put on. But I will get it on. I will get hopefully something sometime, somewhere. Let's see if I messed up my files too much by doing something like this. No, not my downloads, my desktop, and audiobooks, and this one's going to be fun, and this one is going to be, there we go. Boom. Don't know why that's in there. And yeah. Welcome back, Esther. So don't mind me, I'm just going to be making a few things. Wave. MP3. And Audacity. Ah, right. Actually, since this is the only one, I'm going to keep the video folder separate and make a new... I needed that folder anyway. So that's kind of how I edit all these books and whatnot. But since I've ran out of things to do tonight, to be honest, I thought that chapter was going to be a lot longer. So I think for tonight, I will end the stream here. Thank you guys for thank you all for joining me, and we'll see you next week. Bye.